It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level, baby. Second level.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Level 2 Podcast, Episode 10. My name is Keegan. I am the child of the group. I'm hanging out with the lovely, stoic Britishman, Tom Miles, the other half of Level 2 Gaming. How you doing today, Tom?
I'm all right, man. I've had a weird couple of days, but I'm back.
This is our first podcast after the holidays. Technically, Hanukkah's still going on, but after Christmas.
Yeah.
My holiday.
After your holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're also hanging out with the lovely Macaroni and Dave.
Mac and Dave.
Mac and Dave. Say hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing today? How have you been?
I'm good. This is my first day off, actually. So,
Man.
He had to work through the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recall that feeling. It was not a whole lot of fun. But,
Not a whole lot of holiday.
it's retail, man. What are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah.
Hey, can I start with something before you start? Or did you have a plan to start with something? Because I want to say something.
You can say something, then I'll say something, then you can say something if you want to.
Because you're gonna want to join into this because
Uh-oh.
this happened right before the holidays on Christmas Eve.
That is the day before the holiday.
That is the day before Christmas, for those of you that don't know what Christmas is. And I was at my job, doing my job, and Keegan comes running up to me at our job.
I come running behind him. I'm like, hey, Tom.
Does my job. And he said, hey, man, the weirdest thing just happened to me. I was outside in the mall just walking to break or something.
I was going to lunch, I think.
Right.
Or something.
And some dude just stopped me and said, Keegan?
Yeah,
and I was like, what? And then he said, level 2, right? And you were like, the fuck?
It was more like, yeah, like I was confused. Like I knew where he was from, but I was still confused.
And apparently that is John, right?
His name is John.
I don't know John. We don't know what John's last name is. We know his first name is John.
You gave him a high five?
Yeah. No, you gave him a high five?
Yeah, I didn't take. I forgot.
Sweet.
I should have taken a picture, but I didn't.
That would have been nice.
That would have been.
So,
But I was too worried about getting food in my belly.
I just thought that was awesome. That's the first time that you've been recognized
In real
outside from like a rando, like
Yes.
not from someone that knows.
Not like
us.
this guy who watches all of our stuff because he knows
He's less
us.
rando, but from a pure rando. And I gotta say, it put a big grin on my face, and it made my day that day. So even though I did not see anyone, and thank you for not sending randoms my way in the middle of the job.
That's what I thought. It's like because
if I was in the mall, I'm all
well,
open
as you
to
guys
engagement.
as you guys know, if you follow us at all, we don't say where we work, and that's for certain reasons.
Yeah, it's for NDA reasons.
Yes, but it is kind of cool that some random guy came up to me and was
Yeah.
like, "You were." It was again. I was like, when somebody says your name, you don't know who they are. This has happened before when I did my music stuff before, so it's not a new thing to me. But it's weird when
He was famous before.
I was internet famous before.
He was previously a famous guy.
But no, it was weird because when somebody yells your name that you don't know, you're kind of confused.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, was it somebody I worked with? Like, who was?
Yeah,
this?
I would totally not assume anyone would ever know me from this show.
Yeah, and then
ever.
when he said from level 2 again, it was kind of like in my head it clicked like, okay, I know where he knows me from, but I'm like, yeah,
That's
like I was
really bizarre.
I was confused
Yeah.
at the same time.
How awesome is that, though? So, massive shout outs to John for making Keegan and my
I'm sure he's probably listening to this.
day. I hope he is.
He says he listens to all of our
There
podcasts.
you go.
He tries to watch all of our videos, but
Awesome dude.
he doesn't.
So thank you. And if you ever see me or Keegan in the street, feel free to say hi. What's
give us
up?
high fives.
We'll take photos and put them on Instagram. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little
Or
more-
David.
Yes, or David.
In
That's what
fact,
he looks
we'll
like.
make a video for his channel.
Macaroni and Dave. YouTube.com/C/Macaroni and Dave.
Yep. Do you have any videos on there yet?
No.
Not one video, but like at least 10 subscribers.
The goal was to get more subscribers
Than videos.
than video.
We can work on that.
We can work on that.
Subscribe
yeah.
below.
It's like we're subscribed to nothing.
I do want to do a little bit more of a serious note here
Okay, go
at the
ahead.
beginning. As you guys know, holidays have been going on,
Mm-hmm.
family time. My grandma, during the holidays, one of them is fine. The one who broke her ankle is up walking around way better than we thought she would be at this point. Other one had to be rushed to the hospital yesterday. That's why the podcast, if you guys, technically a week ago, was late. I put a video up saying, hey, she's not doing so hot. When you're in your 90s, any sort of fever is dangerous. It got to the point where we contemplated. Well, first I thought I sleep down in the living room because I'm a child and I don't get the big kid bedroom.
Right.
My parents and aunts and uncles sleep up there.
You get the air bed.
Yeah, I sleep on an air mattress. Well, I slept on the couch that night, but my mom, I was on watch in case grandma needed to get up, whatever it may be. And in my head, you're at that point, you're thinking like, I've never seen her so weak, and she was like almost on death watch essentially. Like my mom came down at 5:30 a.m. to make sure she was still alive, and This was the first Christmas I've had where I was concerned that I
someone
may
else.
not have her much longer. Like, yes, she's getting. It's one of those things you don't want to think about because she's getting older, and you're like, it's there. But at the
Have
same
you
time,
ever
don't
really
want to.
lost like a major sort of family member?
I've lost not really recently. I mean, I've lost
You're still quite
3
young.
major ones. Yeah, I've lost my grandpa when I was really young. My dad's dad when I was. I mean, that was the first funeral I went to, and I was probably maybe 6, 7. It was before my brother was born. I want to say maybe a year before my brother was born. So probably 7. And then my other grandpa died in. God, it was September 11th, 1996, I think. Which
quite
is
a while
why,
back for you.
Yeah, so I was 5. To this day, I think I told the story. I don't know if I've told it on here or not, but there was a moment where I was sitting on Grandpa's, or I came to visit for Christmas, and I went to go sit on Grandpa's lap, and I asked Grandpa where Grandpa was, because it didn't look like him, because he died of cancer. He had pancreatic cancer, so he didn't look like himself at the end. And then my aunt, actually, when I got hired at the job we're at now, that was all scheduled around my aunt's funeral.
Man.
So, which it's weird because I'm not super close to my family because we lived other places. Like, I'd see them at Christmas, holidays, like that's it. So it wasn't a big impact. Like my mom or my mom died,
I think the age makes a difference, though. I think if you're younger, like my mom used to tell me not to go to funerals.
Well, I
because
remember being at my dad's funeral and just wanting the donuts. Like, they took me to the kitchen to eat the donuts because they didn't want me to hang out.
Yeah.
Which he had an open casket. No, he was. My mom's dad had an open casket, which was really weird because Grandpa wasn't moving. Like, she tried to explain to me.
Caskets are super weird.
Yeah, tried to explain to me why
general.
Grandpa wasn't moving, and then my other one was cremated.
Right.
So he's just an urn. So.
An urn.
Yeah, but I was dealing with some family stuff. She, as of right now, she's got a virus. I came down yesterday. My cousins came down yesterday. My uncle's still up there with her. He actually flew in. He works for Boeing. He flew in from Seattle to stay, and he's actually going to stay a little bit longer. So Boeing, I want to give a shout out to them. Not that it really matters, but
Sure.
Boeing has been really incredible to him. His aunt was the one who died a few years ago to cancer, and she'd been fighting it for 20 years, and he used to work on top secret stuff. The one thing I can say he worked on is the B-2 bomber. He was one of the designers for that.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a military bomber. Like, it's the...
I assumed as much from the name.
It's one of the most recognizable military jets. He worked on that. He's worked on a few other things in the past. He has worked on some things that are not out yet that we can't talk about.
Spaceships.
Fun fact: when he got hired, we lived in Canada, and they thought we were spies. They had to do a background check, but no, they've done really well with kind of like being flexible with that, and then obviously with him saying, "Hey, I'm my mom's."
But she's currently kind of stable.
She's at home. She's good.
She's obviously
Yes.
poorly, but she's stable.
She had 101 fever Christmas morning, stayed in bed all day, got up Christmas Eve and or Christmas night and wanted to hang out with us. And she was fine. Had like 100 fever, but she took it easy. And then yesterday morning yesterday morning is when I came back down. She was back up to 100. So it's one of those things where we didn't know what was causing it, but as of right now, she's fine. Haven't heard anything other than she's taking her meds. They know what it is, which is the important part. That was our concern, was pneumonia, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
But on a happier note, what have you been up to? I'm done talking about depressing
weird
family
transition.
stuff. Well, I just don't know. Yeah, like I said, the gist of that is just kind of.
I don't want to bum everyone out, but I had a bunch of shit go on last night as well.
Yeah, your dog had some chocolate.
You may remember my pets from our level 2 pets episode, and both of my shit of a dogs ate some chocolate, some dark chocolate, which, if you know anything about dogs eating chocolate, is the worst type of chocolate to eat. Milk chocolate essentially is harmless for them, I'm told, but milk chocolate is
I was gonna
pretty
say Cosmo's
bad,
eating plenty of chocolate.
and dark chocolate is like really bad. So there's these dark chocolate cookies that they managed to get into, and my wife was like napping or whatever.
Yeah.
She woke up to that, and the shits that they are, they'd almost finished off this bag, and there's a couple cookies left in there. So she called me while I was at work, and she had to rush them to the animal hospital. And then I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but they had to induce vomiting. So what they do,
it's like pumping your stomach.
you kind of, not really, like what for like the outcome, yes, but for how they do it, they have this thing. I think they called it orange morphine, which just put me the fuck off. No, apple morphine, which I'm just like, morphine? We're giving our dogs morphine, like heroin morphine. And I was like, she said it's a bit different. I was like, how is it different? Because I need to know these things.
Yeah.
Full flavor?
Yeah, so exactly. Like apple is the only word that you're saying that's different. Is it just apple juice mixed with morphine? Because that's not going to work. So anyway, it's powder, it's a pill, and they crush it and they put it in like a folded up piece of cardboard. It's a folded up piece of cardboard for those of you watching. And basically, they have to put it directly in this little pocket under the eye. Yeah, exactly. In the eye thing. And so they did it to Murray, and what happens is literally within like a minute or two, they start just blowing their guts all over the place. So we did Murray first.
Are they like, I assume they have them pinned down of some sort, so they don't just like run around.
No, you kind of keep them over the paper, you know. We have like paper on the floor, and I was just kind of hold him. So he blew chunks, and there was a little bit of chocolate in his. She wouldn't do it. And here's the thing about Cora is she is massively aggressive towards vets, hates them, absolutely.
I mean, she's also very skittish around.
She's skittish around humans, but like she's not as bad. Like you know, she plays with you and stuff. But like when it's like vets or anyone that she thinks might be there to cause her any kind of harm, or if there's muzzles involved.
Let's say she plays with me when you're here. When I dog sat, she was hidden under the bed the whole time.
It was the first time. So yeah, but she is. Yeah, she is absolutely like a vicious monster when it comes to vets.
I wonder why that is. Like,
she had some traumatizing experiences. Okay. When she was spayed, they had these splinters in her that they had to like pull out, and one of them got stuck, and she just like squealing, and so she had that, and then she had her back surgery last year on Christmas Day.
You're just Christmas. Maybe you should get that on
just
Tom's
not
birthday.
Have Christmas anymore, maybe. But yeah, so she was a bit more of a shit. So with her, we had to basically create this saline apple morphine mix, right? And then pour it into her eye like an eye drop.
You're making my eyes water.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. You have to understand the story. And so basically we did that, didn't work, and we were just like, please throw up, and she wouldn't do it. So the doctor was ready to just call it and just say, well, you know, she has ingested a dangerous amount, but if she's not going to let us do anything, then we can't do anything. We were like, fuck that, we're doing something. Give me a half a pill, I will shove it in her eye. So the doctor tried, she freaked out. I had to do it. So this is like a pill, normal size pill, cut in half, rammed in her eyeball. Not good times, right? No. She was not happy about it, but we got it in there.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah. She vomited a lot of chocolate, like a ton of chocolate, and we were just like so relieved. Like you've never been so happy to see your dog puke before.
How's she doing today?
Today,
because we're recording a little bit later because
we are later, because I had to monitor her. They said that 12 to something hours was out of the woods, but she's been really good actually. All night, all morning, she's been really good. She's lethargic because she had fucking morphine. Yeah. But and both of them were tripping balls for a while, just staggering all over the place.
Did you get video of it?
I didn't. I was too busy being traumatized. But so they're doing a lot better today. I'd like to thank everyone at our work that we can't talk about for helping out with that, because like they like drove me there real fast. And
Unsafe House Hub covered the second part of you.
Someone covered the end of my shift, and so I have an awesome coworkers that I work with, and they helped us. So she's doing a lot better today. Both of the puppies are cool. Currently, grandma's in stable condition. So
what do you have going on? What's your depressing story while we're at it?
Yeah.
Do you have any depressing stories?
Let's start with miserable shit today, shall we?
Just pretty much had to work.
You had to work.
Pretty much.
There you go. That's it.
That's a pretty sucky
You know what, though? It sucked because I was told the week of Christmas, like, oh, by the way, those days that you're normally off, you're not off.
Yeah.
So that sucked. At least I could do it from home, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's cool. God, I wish I could work from home.
Yeah. You can't. Just
be nice.
Same with me.
I would never get anything done though. I would just watch movies and play with the dogs.
We technically work it from home right now. If level 2 ever takes off, like this is work from home.
Quite literally.
And it's weird because like when we're the fun part of level 2, for those of you little behind the scenes stuff, the fun part is recording it.
There's a not fun part?
Yeah, the not fun part is editing, scheduling, posting, making sure shit gets like, not that it's not fun, but it's the more work side of things. Like
there's definitely effort that goes into it.
It's like the pulling behind the curtain and seeing the wizard, where it's like you guys literally just see the final product, but that final product could take us 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
Not including recording. So
it took us at least 3 hours to get the voice mixes right earlier. So
yeah, no joke, it probably took us 15-20 minutes.
But aside from miserable shit, then
let's talk about holidays.
Let's talk about kind of what you did,
what you've been doing
that was cool, what you've been playing, fun, what you watched, shit that you did.
Should we start with Macaroni and Dave?
Let's start with Macaroni and Dave. What did you do?
By the way, those of you who don't know who Macaroni and Dave, it came from a stream one night. We were like, David was the only one on the stream who didn't have a username, and we asked for suggestions, and that was one, and some dude actually made it, and we got the login, and now he has it.
Yep. It's an awesome avatar. It's
a piece of macaroni with cheese hanging off the edge.
Yep. So. We should try and make a macaroni D for Dave.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Like one of those craft ones
there's
and then one of those Velveeta
I
ones.
downloaded a macaroni font.
I feel like that's a whole lot of effort for something that's...
not gonna
We're willing to put it in. I'm willing to put it in. It's going to be great.
But anyways, what have you been playing recently?
Between the rise,
because you haven't been playing with me.
No. Between the Rise of the Tomb Raider and still Skyrim as always,
Still digging that?
Skyrim?
Yeah.
I
got that for the holidays, so I haven't played it yet.
I haven't. I played it once and it crashed.
Yeah.
I will say, if you've never played it,
I have played it before.
He's not like me.
I'm just excited for the mods part of it because I never got the mods.
The mods are so... They add a whole new level.
He literally sent me a screenshot of all the mods he has installed.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to see so I can set mine up all fancy. Because the Pro, I'm hoping, is going to put out a bit more juice with it as well.
Careful with stabilization, though. That was my issue.
Keep in mind, it's 4K on there, too. So
Right.
Get them fancy, cool-looking mods.
While you would think it would run better, it might not.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm excited to play that. So you're a big fan. And we've talked about you potentially like streaming it for the channel at some point as well, because you're big into Elder Scrolls lore in general, right?
Well,
he just tells me what I need to know.
I mean, you play the games enough, you just
pick it up.
No, just like GTA when you
Mario.
Know what part of the world,
the lore of Mario.
There's a
very
I
thinly
blew somebody's
veiled
mind the other day when I told him Doki Doki Panic was Super Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario Brothers 2 was Super Mario Lost Levels.
I knew that.
I did.
Didn't blow my mind.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Try again. Princess is in another castle. Right.
Yeah.
Did you play Mario Run?
Super Mario, yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
You don't sound like it.
Yeah, it's. I'm more excited that it's on there more than the game itself.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. It's short, obviously. That's the only complaint I have. 6 levels is not worth $10 at all.
6 worlds.
6 worlds, yeah.
6 worlds, 3 levels, and castle per world.
It should be double the amount of worlds for $10. I think $5 would have been reasonable.
Yeah.
So I think they pushed the boundaries a little bit there. I haven't really got into like the farming aspect of it, or like creating the town or any of that stuff.
I've done that a little bit. I still play my mobile game is PewDiePie Super Simulator. And I don't know why, but
Dawn of the Titans. Have you ever played that?
No.
It's not bad. It's like what do you call those games with the Dynasty Warriors? Where you command like legions and stuff to fight in armies, big battles.
So those ads that I always get on my phone for those type of games.
But it's really good. Like the graphics are good, and you have like one big like monster with you, and then like regular troops, and there are different types of troops. Like you can have like archers and stuff. And actually, RJ, our friend RJ,
you need to look up accurate. What is it called? Accurate battle simulator or something like that. It's on PC only.
It's super generic sounding.
But yes, but it really is. So it's literally just like different characters like that. So it's like an archer, a spearman, that kind of stuff. But there's no textures to them. They're just the models, and they run at each other. And it's the funniest ragdoll physics you'll ever see.
Sounds quite funny.
It was hysterical.
Yeah,
I love Jacksepticeye playing it because he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna make an X and see what happens. Like,
did you ever play Hearthstone?
No.
It's a similar principle, but it's a card game instead.
Yeah.
Most people like think card games are super boring. They're not that bad.
I tried. The only 2 card games I got into is I got into Magic back in the day when I was in middle school, and I got into Pokemon when that was a big thing, and then they banned it at our school, and then I stopped playing. And
you used to play Magic the Gathering?
Yeah.
Really?
It's because I had to fit in with somebody when I moved to Texas.
Surprising.
So I fit in with the nerds. that's honestly the beginning.
You were ripping on comic books earlier and we were just like, And now you're like saying an even nerdier hobby that you used to do.
Yeah, but I didn't get super into it, but like my friends played it, so I kind of like by osmosis I played
social gaming.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's always been a social gamer.
Yeah, always. Doesn't matter if it's card or video game.
That's what you need. Let's get you some more friends.
What about you? I got plenty. Oh, trust me.
I'm the worst. I'm like a fucking hobbit. I just stay by myself.
Yeah, I know.
Hermit was what I was going to say. Hobbit as well. We've already discussed that. Me, fuck, I can't even think about it. I've been watching Expedition Unknown. Did we talk about that before? We did a little bit, right, with Jordan?
I don't remember, to be honest. So much has happened between last time I've seen you and now that, like...
Expedition Unknown there's a show I talked about with Jordan, which was basically, it's Josh Gates who used to present Destination Truth.
Yeah.
Which, if you've never seen Destination Truth, is one of my favorite shows ever. It is basically a group of people with actual science equipment that go out looking for lore-ish creatures. Trying to get my sponsorship. Trying to get your sponsorship.
For those of you who are listening, I just put it in my bottle of, I call it Bai. Somebody else called it, I think you call it Bay.
I call it Bay.
Antioxidant infusion drinks.
But you know, they would like, so they have like the fucking Loch Ness Monster or whatever, then they would go looking for it, or like a Yeti, they would go looking for it. But these are like really like local, minute like tribes in the middle of nowhere that have their little laws and like giant vampire bat people and stuff. Like, it's not like your typical monsters, and they used to go looking for those. So he has his own show now where he goes looking for treasure. So like, if it's like the last one I watched was about the Nazi gold train, which is this train that disappeared between these two tracks that allegedly has $7 billion worth of paintings and gold.
Well, as I say, you know, Nazi Germany confiscated a lot of stuff.
Right. So they had this train that disappeared, and they know exactly where it disappeared. There's tunnels, there's things down there, but everything is kind of collapsed to the point where it's too dangerous to explore. So they went to explore. So it's there's some really good stuff on there. Movie wise, I watched Rogue One at the cinema.
So don't spoil it.
I won't spoil it. I will say it's the best Star Wars movie I've ever seen, hands down.
Have you seen them all in theaters?
I don't want to tell you why, because it will spoil it.
Did you see them all in theaters?
I've seen.
What year? I don't know what year.
I saw the originals re-released in theaters.
But you've seen them all on the big screen now.
I have seen them all, except for part 2 and 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was trying to do the math in my head, and I was like, I was not that old.
I was like a month old when Star Wars.
Hey, you could have still seen it.
I watched the re-releases. I watched Phantom Menace. I watched Force Awakens. I did not see Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith.
Because my first Star Wars experience was the VHS box set.
Right.
That was my first. I went to Will's house, and Will had Star Wars. I was like, what the hell is Star Wars? And then we watched it. I was like, I want more of that.
It's weird. Star Wars, like, this is basically like, it's the ultimate Star Wars movie, but it's not got that many Star Wars-y things in it. Like, they keep like hinting that they're going to drop the da, 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 but they never do. It's always like a slight variation on it. It's like, you're kind of like, they don't do the scrolly bars at the beginning. Like, there's certain things that are missing.
Speaking of Star Wars, I told you guys this morning that John Williams, the guy who scores Star Wars, scores lots of movies, has never seen a Star Wars movie start to finish. The only time he sees it is when he is actually scoring it, which is really cool. I don't know if you've ever watched the process of how he does that, or how any composer does it, but they have a giant screen that he's looking at, and he's basically watching it and directing from his platform while having the screen up there while everybody playing live. And to me, like, I would love, and I know like some places do it, have done it before, but I'd love to go like see Star Wars with a live orchestra, because that would be
do
fantastic.
That for games and stuff now.
Zelda did one recently,
and Final Fantasy too. Yeah.
Geek Etiquette, shout out to her. I think I told you the story, but she got offered to go. She lives in England, and they had a Tomb Raider thing going on. I don't know what it was, like 20th anniversary or something of Tomb Raider, and they took her game footage and played it live on the stage up there, and there's a live orchestra playing the music and all that. I don't know the full details, but she got picked to do that, and she was over the moon.
That's great.
I was very proud. I mean, Amy works really hard. She's a very quiet person. She won't talk about herself, but at the same time, it's really cool when something like that happens.
Yeah.
And it was funny listening, because somebody got a video. She went with a friend that recorded the video of everybody reacting to her video. And
is she shown in the video, like in the corner?
I don't believe so. I think it's just the audio. I think it's gameplay, her commentary over top of it.
Okay.
But there's one moment where, because the first Tomb Raider, you talk about Laura's boobs being triangles, and the crowd just lost it with whatever that she said. I can't remember what she said now, but it was kind of cool. It was a cool experience, I'm sure, for her.
That's awesome. Yeah.
The fact that
happy for her.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, anyways,
game wise, I played more Lichspiel. I can't stop playing the goddamn game. Played more Final Fantasy. I finally played Watch Dogs 2.
I saw you had that on there.
Only for a little bit, yeah. I played it this morning for a touch, because obviously we've been debating and oohing and eyeing over this game for a couple weeks now, and so far so good. So far I'm digging it. I need it to open up more. No, digitally.
Damn it! I was gonna say, can I borrow it?
Yeah, sorry, brother. It was on the
yeah, it was on the sale.
Holiday 3 sale. Yeah. So I've been playing that, and it's been kind of fun. It's definitely a different vibe to the original. It definitely has a more fun feel to it. It's basically GTA 5 with hacking.
Yeah. Which is GTA 5 is a fantastic game to mimic. So
yeah. Yeah, and they do it quite well as well. Like the characters are well fleshed out. It's a little bit silly in places, but it's kind of supposed to be a little hokey. I think it's more reminiscent of the '90s hacker movie.
It doesn't take itself too seriously,
right?
Which is always nice. And
so that has been me.
I've not played too much. I mean, survival for Division, as I said last podcast to come out, I've played 2 rounds of it. I played once by myself just to see what it was about, and then I played the other night with Cody, or yesterday with Cody, before my internet took a shit because I was uploading the podcast and it broke. I've been playing Overwatch. Our friend Sarah, she picked us up Overwatch. We played a little bit yesterday because she wanted to learn how to play. So I was like, cool, hop on.
She has a PS4 now?
Yeah, she got it for Christmas.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she got the Uncharted collection, or Uncharted and Overwatch, I believe, were the games she got. So
awesome.
Yeah, other than that, like over the holidays, I took my PSVR up to Grandma's house, which it was kind of nice that Grandma was...
you had a whole VR family
session. It's kind of nice that Grandma was sick because we could play the stuff that we can't play. Like, we can't play Resident Evil in front of Grandma because she would be...
ill.
Not like it.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, my mom, my dad, like, I was surprised. My goal was to get my parents to play. I kind of had a feeling my dad would. I didn't know about my mom. I mean, my ultimate goal was Grandma, but Grandma was sick, so I wasn't going to do that. But I had my dad play. He was the first one who jumped in, and he did the Ocean Descent. And it was funny because he's like, when's this gonna pick up? And I was like, wait for it. He's like, he sees the shark, he's like, oh, whatever. Like, cool. And then it starts coming at him like that. The first moment when it lunges and it takes the door off, he's like, he was literally moving back, and at one point I stood up because I was scared. There was a coffee table probably a foot and a half behind him, and I was scared because he had plenty of cables, so he wouldn't pull the PS4, but I was scared he was going to hit the coffee table and go down. So at one point I stood up behind him to make sure he didn't go backwards, but he was legitimately jumping backwards, which is really cool because, again, for him, he doesn't play video games, but he was blown away by, obviously it's not the prettiest looking thing. My mom had the issues with kind of like the visuals of it because it's not super crisp compared to when you see stuff on TV.
Right.
But the immersion of it, he was like, holy crap. And then my mom wanted to kill somebody. She actually terrified my dad because she kept saying that. And I couldn't think of a game to do that with. Like, I kind of wanted her to...
Wait. Let's slow this down a second. So your mom came up to you, said, Keegan, I want to murder someone in VR.
I said, what do you want to play? She goes, well, I want to shoot somebody.
Okay.
I was like, my dad's like, I'm a little nervous.
That's fair.
But I didn't want her to play because I thought London Heist, but I didn't want to play that because I don't know. She's not very gamey.
Right.
So like, I didn't know how well she'd be able to handle the controllers. So she tried Surgeon Simulator, couldn't do it because it was so glitchy.
Until Blood. She should have done it, not Until Blood.
Until Dawn. I thought about the afterwards.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Because Grandma's internet was garbage, and I logged into your account, so thank you, to download a lot of these for them to play. I didn't download that one in time, though.
That would have been cool.
What did she end up... I'm trying to think what she ended up playing. I can't remember what she ended up playing, but she had a blast, though. It was cool. She just, again, the graphic side of things, she wasn't completely blown away. She's like, this looks fake. And I was like, it is.
You're in a video game.
Yeah. Best story of the weekend, though. My sister was playing Job Simulator, and it was around lunchtime. I had to go, because I was in charge of switching games, because nobody knew how to run it, and getting the headset on and off of people. I went to go into the kitchen to get my barbecue pork sandwich and come back in the other room. As I was in the kitchen, Kelsey goes, I'm done. Like, she'd finished with what she was doing. And I come back in, and I was like, okay, let me take the headset off. And as soon as I come in, she's playing Job Simulator, and she goes to throw something and punches me right in the jaw. She goes, like, we're not talking, like, this is a full punch. Like, she hit me hard. And my Aunt Linda was like, I wish I got that on video.
I feel like you have the worst luck in VR.
Yeah.
You tend to get beaten up or beat things up.
But she hit me. Like, I remember feeling the squishy of the ball at the end of the Move controller.
Right.
And it hit me right there.
Did we ask you already? I can't remember.
Yeah, I went first.
Skyrim, right.
Skyrim and Tomb Raider.
I'm sorry. It's been a long fucking couple days, man. I'm beat.
My family in general liked VR, though.
Good.
I mean, it was a lot of fun.
I'm glad.
I enjoyed it.
I was going to try and make my dad do it because he was here when we got it.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, we had to do the unboxing and everything.
Yeah.
So I figured I'll catch him next time and freak him out with it.
He'll
love it, but
it's real interesting just to see people. So my cousin Matt also, he's usually a generation behind. He's one of those guys that doesn't buy the newest. Like, he just picked up, I think, an Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. So, like, he doesn't care. like, I remember him getting the Dreamcast, and that was a big deal. That's the last console he got at launch. But I was like, do you want to try it when everybody's gone? He's like, yeah, let's try it. So I had him, because to me, Job Simulator is the perfect one where it makes total sense to anybody that has not ever played a video game. And he was having a blast, just like blending shit and making this weird concoctions. And the best part was Grandma has her chair that she sits in. We had to be mindful of Grandma being in her chair, but Job Simulator, you reach over, like, you move a lot in Job Simulator. And one point, he goes to reach over, and Grandma goes, Matt, what are you doing? And we were trying to explain to her that...
It's gonna clock Grandma.
Yeah, we were trying to explain to her that he's in a kitchen in his world, and she could... I mean, I don't blame her for not comprehending what's going on.
To be fair, I think I would have been confused.
Yeah, but like, because we're
in a kitchen. What?
Well, we're like, what he sees, like, his eyes are the TV screen, and then there's a whole world around him. She couldn't comprehend it, which doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, it was a lot of fun playing VR. Other than that, hoping to stream Survival tomorrow night, or at least play it again. Overwatch, Division, Overwatch. I did get Halo 5 Guardians.
Yeah, that's what it's
called. So I'm gonna play that on the Xbox. At some point, I'm gonna bring that over so we can actually play a game together. We don't have any games for it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that. We have We Happy Few, and we have Inside.
I do plan on trying to dig up some like cheapy ones from.
Sunset Overdrive is one I need to get
at
some point.
Yeah,
and then
sure. Exclusives are the way to go, I think. But then again, most of the exclusives are AAA, so it's kind of like if you could find exclusive.
Well, there's
indies,
a big Microsoft big Microsoft sale going on in the store right now, so I'm going to try and look and see what's on there that's not on PlayStation.
Right.
So I'm gonna look through that. They have their end of the year sale.
Okay.
And then I'm going to buy some For Honor. Actually, no. We talked about For Honor last night. I was going to pre-order For Honor, and then this guy told me that it uses peer-to-peer, so I was kind of like, So I'm going to wait on that.
Peer-to-peer?
For online connections versus dedicated servers.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to wait and see. But I have Christmas money to spend, and it's burning a hole in my pocket for video games. So... But yeah.
All right. Well, I guess let's move on to the
bonus question. Or bonus level. We know what it's called.
What is our question? Who's it from?
So, our bonus level is from the Mr. Tigrado Power.
Tigrado.
Good old Tigrado. And it is, what in a game can make you overlook its issues and keep you coming back and having fun?
Good question.
This is a good question, because I play a game that's absolute shit, according to most people, and I still play the crap out of it.
Which game's that?
The Division. That's this guy. He's been through thick and thin with me.
Yeah.
We play pretty much 90% of the time. I think you have a little bit more time in it than I did, because you binged at one point.
Yeah.
You were fucking going.
It's funny, though. You have to talk me off the ledge a few times from that game, too, though, because I've gotten pretty angry.
Well, I think it's funny, because like, there's times where I'm like, does David want to play again tonight? And he's like, you want to play Division? I was like, yeah. Because I'm not going to say no.
You guys are fueling each other's addiction. That's not
well, the one that frustrated me the most when I played that game was were you there for the invisible wall during the incursion?
I think so.
Were you part of where we hit the hole?
Yes.
And we tried to dive. I couldn't get through. Everybody else was on the other side. I was like, well, I guess I'm fucked.
That was terrible.
And I couldn't teleport, because I was in no respawn zone, and you can't just go through an invisible wall. That's
weird.
We were
in the middle of like the hard. But granted, we were trying to cheese it, I think, and that was part of
your own fault then.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Like,
I mean, Girl Scout was. Girl Scout cheeses. I like playing that game legit, even though it's broken. I mean, the problem I have is when that game when it gets to the point where you cannot continue because something went wrong.
So to answer the question then.
Yeah. The biggest thing that brings me back is, we kind of talked about a little bit beforehand, is just the fun factor. Like, that game, two things have happened. One, it got to the point where I put enough hours in that game that, like, it's your character. You're building this guy up. It's an RPG, essentially. I mean, it's a light RPG.
So it's a level of addiction almost that brings you back, the addictive elements of
it's also
maintaining a character.
What's really funny... Well, go ahead.
It's you set goals for your character.
Right.
Then... And, every time that it updates, it changes. Mm-hmm. So you get to the point where...
There's been a few big updates,
you want to hit those goals.
Like level 256.
Right.
Gear score.
Or you want that perfect gear set. Mm-hmm. So there's always stuff to do that we always... And I think that's what keeps
collect Phoenix credits. The weird thing to me was the fact that like I was ready to be done with that game, but then Underground came out, and if Underground had come out and wasn't good, I would have been done. Like I wouldn't have given that game another chance.
I agree,
but because we stopped playing for like 2 or 3 months at that point, and
it got very repetitive.
Yes, because you go to the Dark Zone, you go do the dailies, and that was it.
Raids, right?
Which the Dark Zone is cool, but at the same time, I don't like PvP. I was watching a guy who was doing survival, which is the new mode. You can do PvP or PvE. He was doing PvP, and the guy was extracting, and I don't know if this is a spoiler, but at the end when you're extracting, a lot of people come in and try to murder you, like wave after wave after wave, and the guy gets shot, like from a player. He's like, "You fucking idiot, like there's hunters over there, why are you killing me?" And the guy was like, "I want your shit." Like to me that's a dick move. Like
I mean, that's why that game was created, that area.
Yeah. Oh, I get it, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of that. That's why I like the Underground. Underground, we can still all work together, and we've learned in video games that if we're on the same team, it's usually not a bad thing.
Did you see the original on-stage play footage of The Division when they were, like, talking through it all like they were, like, super gamer guys? They was like, yeah, give me a reload on the left or whatever. Like, it was ridiculous. And at the end, they're like, oh, there's 2 people here. We need to watch our backs, guys. Are they friendly? Are they friendly?
We do that.
They were aiming for that.
But it's actually true. Like there's times where we're like going around and we use that dudes are guys.
Yeah.
A guy is an agent. A dude is a right. No,
we do.
I don't remember. We know when we're playing.
Yeah,
one of the two.
If we say dude or player, you're a player.
You're a player. If you say guy, it's a NPC.
Gotcha.
Something like that.
It's a complicated algorithm you have there.
Yes. Because we can... Well, when it started when we were playing with Nate, because Nate would say the opposite, and we're like, wait, dude or guy? So I think the answer to the question is I think a couple things, specifically in the Division's case, is they have the developer put time in to fix. They postpone their updates to fix the game, and that's kind of goodwill on their, like, yeah, you broke your game's broken, but at least you're trying to fix it. Versus
and the developer was
Ubisoft,
which is nice for them to actually put time in to fix something.
And the other thing is I bought the season pass like a dumbass. We were talking about this. We're never going to buy season passes ever again.
I'm telling you to stop doing it.
I went on a spree there. I bought all the season passes. I bought Just Cause 3 and never played it.
I'm getting to the point where I don't pre-order anything anymore.
Yeah, I'm close to that. Well, the only thing I pre-ordered was Resident Evil because it blew my
unless we all pre-order, because that first night on the Division was a lot of fun. So that stuff like that.
Right.
It's once in a blue moon, but...
Yeah, I think a big thing that's changing that is these AAA publishers that are changing the rules, though. I mean, that whole you're not going to get a copy of the game before launch.
That's not like that's the one thing that's kind of interesting, because that was the prime reason to pre-order when you were growing up. It was like, I'm going to pre-order GTA 4 because it's going to be one of the best-selling games ever, and I might walk into a store and not be able to get a copy of it. So that was why you would do it.
Now digital doesn't matter.
But yeah, with digital now, it's like actually you're probably better off just waiting for reviews and just grabbing it,
waiting for us to do bites on them.
Yeah. And usually after, like the day after that happens, hey, there's a sale.
Yeah.
And you get it for cheap.
That was a conversation we had a couple weeks ago where it's like, if you wait 2 months, there is like PlayStation at one point had 2 sales going. You had the holiday sale and you had the flash sale.
Every big holiday release this season has been put on sale before the end of the year.
Yep, which is crazy.
Battlefield, Titanfall, Final Fantasy, you name it, it's been up there on sale.
Call of Duty.
At least $20 off. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, again, when we got the Division, we all played online that first night until the servers went. But it was a lot of fun. Like we were all watching the countdown. We were all in a party together. Like that to me is I think
that was an event.
Yeah. So to me, like again, answering the question of what makes you come back to a game, and David kind of summed it up before we started recording, but it's the fun factor. Like it's how much am I enjoying this? Even though does the happiness, the highs outweigh the lows? If the lows get to the point, like if the Division was constantly to the point where we would hit these invisible walls, get these things that are broken to where I could not progress or feel like I'm progressing at all, then it'd be a big issue. I think when they did, not to get too technical with them, but when they did the what was that one patch recently where they kind of said, hey, you can buy caches to get Phoenix credits. Like that's the hardest thing to get because we joked we were there back when crafting was cheap. Now crafting's way more expensive. Like stuff like that. It's cool watching a game go through iterations, but then again,
do you think it has parallels with World of Warcraft, that sort of thing, for the level of addiction versus like?
I'm pretty much guaranteed if they make a Division 2, I'm going to buy it.
Because the point that I was trying to make is that with World of Warcraft, like everyone's main goal was to get their characters like Cap. Right? Get it to Cap, get it the best gear, and then they would do some like big event. They would release it, and then everyone that was Cap had to go 10 more to get 10 more. Cap.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah. So the MMO aspect of it, I think, is largely like because there is that ever-changing world, and
you have to be better than the next person.
Right. You have to catch up as fast as possible to get the gear as fast as possible.
He hadn't played because he's at work because he has funky hours, and I was on. He's like, "You're already 256." I was like, "Yeah." Because we went from 206 to.
Well, I don't think it's so much a competition as.
Oh, for me it is like
I'm not going to be useful.
Oh, it's competition. I've got it. Like I'm very egotistical, and I have to be the best one, and especially in a game like that I put so many hours in.
Let me put it this way: for me, it's not a competition.
For David, it is not.
It's just about getting being
friends.
Useful and being able to play. If he's 256 and I'm not, that
right.
Yeah,
and that's kind of and that's one of the things that trailed me off with that game was because you all bought the season pass. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to download Underground or not, and by the time you're like, you should get it, I was like, you're already 20 million levels ahead of me.
That's how I felt in Elder Scrolls the first time.
Right.
I mean,
the thing though is with Division, once you hit a certain level, like we can get you.
Yeah, once you hit 30,
to the top tier.
It's just getting you to 30.
Time.
Yeah,
we did it with a friend. We got someone like to 256 and like literally
probably less than an hour. Yeah,
it was like that by the end of that night.
Blue just got the Division.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
He did.
Yeah, Blue's got the Division. So that's the thing. Yeah, Blue got a PS4 as well. Speaking of people earlier, they got PS4s.
Blue played.
Yeah, he played Overwatch last night. Tom should get Overwatch and play with us, but Tom doesn't like that game.
Didn't his PC break?
Yeah, he's got some issues with that.
Well, at least he's got the PS4.
He got his PS4. I don't think he knew he was getting it because he was very surprised.
Right.
Which is awesome. That's the best kind of Christmas gift.
Yeah,
mine was
good for him,
vacuum.
man. Good for Drew.
But yeah, he was on Overwatch with that. He has Overwatch, the Division, Uncharted came with it, I believe. He got that bundle pack. And then I think I was gonna say GTA, which is funny because I met Blue. A little story time. I met Blue on GTA on PC, and he taught me how to play GTA Online on PC. And like, for those of you who don't know, GTA only runs on Windows side of things. So I had a boot camp to play with him and a few other people, but it's nice that he has it on PS4 because for me it's way more convenient. Selfishly, it's way more convenient, but I think it's funny because the tables have turned. We're like,
before you can also get Rocket League now. You can get ESO.
Well, Rocket League's always been cross play,
but it's more fun on a PS4.
I mean, you just use a controller,
which is better.
But you can do that on PC though. Does it mean that's not an argument to get it on PS4? Because if you're already on PC, you can use the controller.
See, for me, it is a massive argument because of like XCOM 2 and things like that. Like I couldn't play it on Steam.
I know, but it's the same input. Like you can use a PS4 controller.
If I used a PS4, it might
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like it doesn't make sense because that game's already cross-platform. So as long as his computer could theoretically not.
Moving on.
But what about you guys? What makes you go back to a game and kind of, even though it's kind of broken? I mean, let's do a prime example is No Man's Sky this year. I don't think I went back to that game, and I don't think I will go back. Like I did it after the update. I was like, this is cool, but I don't think that game. I think that game's fallen so far that
they're
I won't
not
go back.
Fast enough with it. They're not doing it fast enough.
So that's kind of like what I said with Ubisoft. We're like, hey, we fucked up. Like, we hear you.
Ubisoft actually was cool with a couple things. Like when they fucked up Unity, they gave people a free game, and they were giving out like Far Cry 4 and stuff, which had been released around the same time as Unity. So Ubisoft definitely knows when they fucked up, and now they've even said that they're not releasing an Assassin's Creed every year because they want to give it more time and stuff. So at least they're learning. For me to come back to a game, honestly, it's a tough call. I think it's one of two things. It's the experience that I got and whether I think it's worth repeating. It's kind of like a movie. So if I watch a movie and I really love this movie, I'm probably not going to watch it right away. I'm probably not going to watch it every day. There's some people that watch the same movie every fucking week. I can't do that. But if I find a really good one, I'll get like a taste for it, you know? So there's like certain movies like Jaws. Like every couple months I watch Jaws.
I'm about to break your heart. I've never seen Jaws.
Yeah. Nothing surprises me with you anymore.
I've been inside Jaws' mouth though in Universal.
Fair enough. But there's certain things like that are incredible stories and incredible experiences. So for me, that's more the stuff that would keep me coming back. Like, I would play The Last of Us again. Especially the fact that with games you can remaster them.
What's really weird to me is, and you tend to play a lot more single player, I think, than, well, I played just multiplayer, but I think it's weird for me, coming back is the friends aspect. Like Destiny, I came back because friends, and like I told David, I almost bought Rise of Iron because friends are playing it, but at the same time, on principle, I'm not going to buy Rise of Iron unless it's like $4,
right? Because
that fucking game just made me bad.
Just think
so. Like single player, what
I think there's reasons for both. So I think like if it's like Titanfall 2, I'll keep coming back to that. I can't think of
streaming it.
I can't like think of flaws in that game. Because I like everything about it. But multiplayer does keep me coming back just because it's, you know, that sort of side aspect from the story.
By the way, I played Call of Duty because it had a free weekend going on, and Titanfall 2 is way better in my opinion. The campaign,
I figured it might be.
And Call of Duty is pretty good, but
I'm still planning on picking up Battlefield 1, even though I know that you won't play it.
I can't play
because I kind of like Battlefield games, you know. And it's one of those things where, but as far as like having like problems, it's difficult. I think it's difficult to want to go back to a game that has that many problems. I have to really something has to click with me.
Well, I was gonna say it has to be one of those things where you, like the game has potential to get better. Like it's not versus like I think
fixable problems.
Yeah, I think that's the issue with No Man's Sky. Is No Man's Sky right now is not really a fixable problem unless they redo the whole game.
The entire game was fucked from
versus like Division or versus.
So if it's a fixable problem,
like a patch,
you know, if it's like the graphics are kooky like they were in Unity or whatever, like something like that, that's fair. Like that's a good.
Or if it's a balancing issue, gameplay tweak, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like nerfing certain guns or whatever. Let's talk
about Star Wars Battlefront with the freaking DL-44 when it came out.
Well, again, for Star Wars, that's a flawed game. But then for that, the reason that we went back to that was for the VR experience, and then for the extra DLC. So DLC being another big reason. Yeah.
But I think
it's the Division without the DLC, would you still be playing it?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's weird because like Star Wars, me and him play it because we're Star Wars fans, and it's one of those things where it's like we play it though. We'll play it for maybe 1 to 2 days every so often because it doesn't have the same grip of anything else. And the only reason we go back is because Star Wars. If that game did not have the Star Wars skin, it's garbage.
Yeah,
and it makes me real sad that people bought it for $10.
To be
because you spent 120 on it.
To be fair, it has gotten better.
Yes.
Like the Death Star DLC.
Dude, the trench run was fantastic.
The way that they built the levels, that how it progresses, so it actually has like a whole goal and it makes sense, is so much better than how it started. But
it sucks you have to pay to do that though.
Yeah, I feel like I paid a lot of money to be their guinea pig.
Yeah. And you know, the other weird thing is that with these holiday sales, all those DLCs have been going on sale as well. Yeah. So even things like the Death Star DLC was unreal. And The Witcher, the Blood and Stone, Blood and Iron,
Blood and Wine,
and Iron
that
Stone.
went on sale as well. So you have these kind of things that are designed to bring you back to a game that are now also getting the same kind of sale chops that a normal game would get.
Which you also get the complete. I almost like I think I texted you too, but I know I texted you of like Bloodborne was $9. Do I buy it? Like,
I bought Bloodborne.
I thought about it, but the problem I have with
and I don't even like that.
That's
game.
what I'm saying is I don't know how much I would play it until I got frustrated.
It's kind of like, to me, I know that there's a AAA quality game in there that if I give it enough effort, I will like. For $10,
did you get the complete, or did you get the $10 one?
I got the $10.
The base one. Okay.
Yeah.
The complete was I think $25.
Yeah, like until I officially can play through the main game.
Yeah.
Because I know that I've tried it. Jordan lent it to me. You know, we know Jordan's a big fan of that game. And I tried to play through a little bit, and it gets so infuriating so fast for me. I just can't take it.
Very difficult.
I mean, when I played Dark Souls 3, the demo of it, I kind of understood why Jordan liked it and why people like it, but I'm like, this...
It's definitely a challenge. Yeah. Like that's there's some people that as soon as they play a game, they turn it on hard mode. I never do that.
I go easy.
I don't go easy. I always go normal because to me that is playing the game as the devs intended.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect mixture. And unless I know it's a shitty hard game, in which case I might flip it easy. But
I do easy so I can get through the story. But
there's some people that just refuse to play. It's an insult to them to play the game on normal.
Yep.
See, I think in some cases hard is just like OP the AI or the enemies to the point where it's just dumb.
Not fun.
They're just taking bullets.
Normal is at least manageable to the point where, and like you said, how the devs intended it. Yeah, you know.
I understand doing normal and then wanting to try hard if you really love the game. No pun intended. Try hard. But like my wife's grandpa is a massive Uncharted fan.
Really?
This dude is like pushing 90 and he is a massive Uncharted fan. And his name's Papa, which is an awesome name as it is, right? So Papa,
wait, that's his real name?
I don't know if it's his real name, but she calls him Papa, and to me that he's just Papa. Okay. So Big Papa. So he's been playing like all the Uncharted games forever. He loves them. He had his PS3 out. The last time we went over there for like Thanksgiving or whatever, he's playing. He's like on hard mode on Uncharted 2 or 3. I don't even remember. I'd never played the game, and he was just like, I can't get past this part. He says the awesomest like Johnny Cash voice, and I was like trying to help him out and stuff, and I'm just like, it's like, I already done it on easy, I already done it on normal, I'm trying to get through it on hard. And it was like, dude, he would buy like a PS4 just for Uncharted 4. Like, he is crazy. It's so awesome to have someone of that generation that obsessed in it. But he will like play it to death. Single player campaign, easy, normal, hard, ultra hard if there's one after, you know, all that stuff. And then, like people like Jordan as well, they'll turn it on hard straight away. One of
the things I would say to get back to the question, bring me back to a game, is if the game dev themselves, maybe it may not be the same game, but maybe a different game from that developer, if they have a track record of doing things right, and then maybe they just had a stumble, because it happens. I mean, let's be honest, it happens with the best of us, where we just fall on our face or whatever it may be, and just not.
The other thing that I'd like to point out is games that are initially released to poor reviews, or not poor reviews, because the thing about reviews right now is that they're so weirdly subjective. Because I think that we've gotten to a point now where if it doesn't get a 9 or a 10, that people are like, oh shit.
Which is weird, because like,
you know,
a 7 and 8 is a good game.
7 and 8 is solid for me. It just means there's like 1 or 2 like things that it could have been better. Even like a 5 or a 6, I'll play a 5 or a 6. Like 4 and below, maybe. Like inner kung fu level shit. No, I'm not playing it. But anything like a 5 and above, I'll play. Yeah. And there's some folks that just refuse to do that. So there are certain games that get released and they maybe don't get the most favorable reviews because they're too short or whatever. But something like Lollipop Chainsaw, which I don't know if you've ever played it or not.
I've heard of it.
Crazy ass game about
I think you told me about it.
Cheerleader killing zombies with her boyfriend's head on a keychain. It's a weird story.
I think
it's done by this guy called Pseudo51, who's like super creepy dude and just makes the weirdest games. And anyway, so he made this Lollipop Chainsaw game, and it was like 4 hours, right? Which kind of sucks. Like 4 or 5 hours is
for
shitty
$60?
for a six. It was a full price game when it came out.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So I can see like that being a turnoff, that being a flaw, the fact that it had such a low rating because of like something so simple as
and
length.
Because when people go to buy games, especially this time of year, or parents or whatever it may be, they look at reviews potentially and be like, well,
but the experience of Lollipop Chainsaw
is fantastic.
Yeah. Or and even people that play The Order and things like that, like they say like the cinematics of it were incredible, even though it was only like 2 or 3 hours. So I think there are certain things you can deal with in terms of length as well.
That's what she said.
Settle down. That like if a game is supposedly gets knocked for having a poor length, then it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not worth the trip.
Well, I feel like Bloodborne, going back a little bit, that got a little bit of a pass on some of its technical flaws at first, because I got it at launch. And
you did?
I did. And
were you a Dark Souls player?
No.
So you were in for
He's the newbie.
I mean, I knew what I was getting into, but I wanted to try it. I had read a lot about Bloodborne. I saw a lot about it, and I thought it was
It looked interesting.
Know, and the third person aspect I really liked, and so I thought, okay, I'll try it.
Elder Scrolls in a really weird gothic Victorian.
The load times were horrible.
I remember doing the bite on that, and I'm like,
horrible.
Do we cut this out?
I was like, oh my god,
fair
this
point.
is like 30 minutes of a load time to get to opening.
They fixed that.
Did I tell you? I remember Just Cause. Where you had to load the game and then you had to connect to the server. I, no joke, waited 5 minutes one time for that game to launch.
XCOM 2 has
so
a similarly poor loading time.
So do you think the load time is server based, or do you think it's game based? Because a lot of these ones that have issues are
XCOM 2
connecting
is
online.
not online.
It's not. I thought it was. Oh, I thought it was always on.
I mean, you can play online multiplayer, but like the single player, you can shut off all online aspects of it,
same
and the
with
load time is still fucking shocking.
'Cause-
But I think the reason is because it is.
I mean, games are getting larger.
Yes, but and it is graphically very impressive. But it's what do you call it? Procedurally generated. So they have to like make up where the enemy's going to be this time and where the things are this time, and it's kind of there's a certain level of extra thinking it has to do before it loads up. So there's a half excusable nature to it. But I get kind of sick of like every time I die in that game having to pick up Facebook for like 10 minutes for wait for it to fucking load.
That's why
the game over.
I think it's one of those things where like Bloodborne, I don't think I have as I mean, yes, at some point it becomes annoying, but I don't think I have as much of an issue as long as the whole world loads. I hate when you take that long to load, and then guess what? You walk into a building and you're like, well, fuck.
Right.
Yeah,
Was it Fallout?
Skyrim for PS3. Horrible.
Well, Fallout 4 did that to me, where I was like, so there'd be times where I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, let's spin this thing. Load times I think would be better if there's something on the screen.
Something to do.
That's the other thing is I mean, there's always going to be load times, let's be honest, just the way games are and how big these files are getting. It's going to potentially get longer and longer until we get SSDs or whatever it may be, or faster media, which I don't see coming anytime soon because of the price. But if they had something like mini games on a screen or something like that, like the best ones are like the tips.
Some too. I mean, like Assassin's Creed used to have that kind of, you can run around and just kind of do cool stuff. One I really appreciated recently. Did you play Final Fantasy yet? Right? You haven't yet.
I'm not a Final Fantasy.
No.
Okay, you're saying so. So Final Fantasy.
First person on the show that didn't play Final Fantasy.
So
That's the only reason he had me on.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15 has a good 30-minute load time, like the GTA load where you're doing the initial install. But during that time, it puts you in a free roam battle arena.
Hey Tom, can we talk about Star Wars Battlefront?
Sure.
Load time, the install time. Do you remember that?
How
You're
long
playing
was
Darth
that?
Vader? I don't know, but I came over and we're still waiting.
Yeah, playing Darth Vader.
Which I think is funny. So fun
cool.
fact: you bought Star Wars Battlefront on a sale.
$750, baby.
Yeah, I bought it at launch, and like I pre-installed it, so I
It
didn't have.
fucks me up that it's $750 and you paid $120.
Well, I had the season
but I don't
pass
have
too.
any of the DLC.
Yeah.
So.
So I bought
You
it.
get that cheap now.
I bought it
Yes.
for VR.
Yeah.
That was it.
But I pre-ordered it, so it'd be pre-installed, so I didn't have to worry about all that stuff. It was already ready to go. And like you sent me a text message. You're like, I don't think Battlefront's gonna finish.
Yeah,
Which the Vader thing is really cool, but it took forever still. Because at some point you're like, I just want to play the.
But
actual
it's good
game.
that they gave it to you though
Yes.
as an option, because even though I
But
got super bored of
But
doing.
did that slow down the time? That's the other question.
I don't think it did. I think
No,
they
I don't know how-
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I'd rather, like, I don't care if it's a little slower if you give me something to do. The Final Fantasy, it was nice because Final Fantasy combat's changed multiple times during the demos and everything, so it was a good chance to get to
learn it.
grips with it. I just wish they'd shaken it up a little bit. Like, when we had that Tales of Zestria and then they had, like, the tutorial, and, like, if they had done
you
that...
hit the wall.
Yeah, and then you hit the wall, and it's like you still actually have like 20 minutes to go before you can play the game. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's decent. A tutorial, something to get through. Combat, like, play is good. So give us something, but like the shit like that Bethesda pulls out of their ass, which is just like, here's a sofa, spin it.
Yeah.
It's like
Here's a monster, which it's kind of cool.
it's
But
cool to look at, but it's super boring.
Like for Fallout first time player, like learning about the different things, but like you said, at some point I was just like,
by the
I don't-
15th time you've
you're like,
loaded that up, you're like, okay, I've seen a death blow before.
Yep.
I remember my first experience with that partial load, where they let you download certain amounts
Segments.
and then you can play it supposedly while it downloads. It was Alien Isolation.
Oh.
And there's this wonderful little beginning that tells you what's going on, why you're doing what you're doing, and then you get a little tour of what is the ship that like a replica of the ship that was in Alien.
The Nostromo.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't tell you anything. They're just like, okay, at this certain point of the game, you go and you have to get your briefing report. The fucking game was just like, there's no briefing. Right? So I'm thinking,
No
okay,
briefing for
the game's broken.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why it's doing this. I restarted. I'm doing all kinds of...
They didn't give you like the message.
Like, there was no indication whatsoever that, okay, you've now
actually
hit
wait
the
for
end.
versus like Tales of Zestiria literally said you can't go any further.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a bit vague.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to explore the area because if you're a fan of the movies, then they replicated that 1-to-1. Like they said, even
Right.
like the cereal boxes were the same.
Oh
cereal
yeah, it
boxes
was
from the movie.
It was really cool.
Incredible game.
Until you thought the game was broken because you couldn't go any better.
One of the best updates I think PlayStation did, and as much as it sucks because you realize how big games are now, but it does this is to download the game, this is to download everything in the game. They have the 2 bars now, which I like, but at the same time, I still wait for both bars to finish before I play most of the time because you don't know what. I wish there was a standard of what would be in that first download. Like how much? Tell me, like, give me the first 2 levels or whatever.
I've gone through and replayed the first board in hopes that if it's like 10 minutes to go or whatever, I'm like, I'll just redo it. Yeah, because actually, like you were asking, does it slow it down? It would actually speed it up because it would keep that process as the priority.
Look at this guy being a nerd.
So yeah,
it's like this computer stuff.
But like, well, I mean, because it would be worse if you say you switched to Overwatch or something else.
Right.
Well, when I play Division, when something's downloaded, it just takes a shit because I'm doing the Division or Overwatch.
So in a sense, it's kind of a way to kind of make it seem.
I hate the start without update won't be able to use network features in a world where every single game uses network features.
That happened to me. What was it? We were gonna play something, and
was it the Overwatch update?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the Overwatch update.
Yes, because it was Christmas.
Because whatever reason, that Overwatch update did not install itself for pretty much everybody that I know.
Yeah,
you had to manually go do
on, and I was like, "Oh, come on, let's."
Because I was going to play with James the night before, and the same thing happened. I was like, "Well, I got 3 hours."
Yeah.
I turned it on, and it was like, "Nope."
And even on games where it's like a small part, like with stuff like fucking when there was an XCOM update, like I'm not going to play the multiplayer, but as soon as it loads at the beginning, it loads the online parts of it. So as soon as it hit that part, it was like, oh no, you can't go any further.
The worst,
like I don't even want to fucking play online.
Madden, it does that too. It's like I just want to continue my franchise.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, those are.
That was a bit.
That was just a list of flaws. That was just a list of. We were just.
Well, honestly, so I mean, to get back to bring about all back together, basically the things that bring you back to a game from what I've. The fun factor, whatever you want to call it, but that basically, whether it's friends, by yourself, replayability, whether that experience you want to get again. DLC is a big one right now in this day and age. I mean, everybody's got a season pass. Everybody's got something coming.
Good DLC. Let's put a disclaimer on that.
Yeah.
And community.
Not fucking
community.
If your friends aren't playing, you're not going to.
And the developer kind of, because we've got on that tangent because the Bloodborne load screen, but Bloodborne kind of fixed that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like the developers are actually trying to make it better.
Yeah.
I give more respect, and I think, again, not to bash on No Man's Sky, but I think, like you said earlier, the biggest issue is they did nothing. Like they went silent. That's the worst thing they could have done. They could have come out and said, look, we know we fucked up. We did a bad. I think Sean Murray at the point was scared for his reputation, but it hurt him even more in the long run.
To not say anything.
Yeah.
Whereas the guys from Ubi came out and said,
well, Ubisoft took them a hot second too, but once they did,
but
it's
at
like,
least
okay.
when they did, it was a big one. It was a big apology.
They're like, we're pushing back all the DLC. We're going to fix.
And then they did like that 30 days of free games for PC. Like they did all those Steam games for free. Like that was like those types of things were like, okay, Ubi, you may have sucked at E3, but you had a pretty decent comeback.
The Just Dance and the fucking
every fucking year, Just Dance every year. I hate it.
What was the guy that came with the tiger pants?
I don't even know what was happening during that conference.
Tech companies in general, they tend to regard giving news when they don't really know as bad. So
there's a lot to hold off on comment.
That's how I feel like with the Switch right now is there's something that's going to come out with the Nintendo Switch that I'm not going to like, and I'm guaranteed at this point it's going to be battery life and it's going to be graphics.
You think so?
They're leaking out now of what they are.
It's supposed to be pretty heavy duty, isn't it? Graphics.
It's less than the PS4.
Well, I heard to the contrary, actually, from a news source that's supposedly more reliable.
Well, that's true. It is rumored.
But I would rather Nintendo come out and say, especially now, because then you have the time to die off before the launch happens. Of like, this is what our console is. It's got if it has 3 hours, cool. I know what I'm getting into. If they launch it and I expect to have 3 hours, an hour and a half, that's a different story. So it's weird because do you give the good news or the bad news first? I'm one of those people. Give me the bad news. Let me know what I'm getting into. Like with For Honor, I was dead set to get that, and he told me about the peer-to-peer, and I was just like, now I'm a little nervous about it. But that game was so much fun during the fucking alpha that I'm like,
We're
do I get it or
both.
not?
I
we
wouldn't
were
let
both set
P2P
to
put
get
you
it,
off
but-
entirely, but I would hold off for a little
Well,
while.
that's what and now
and
it's
let
like
the
you're saying, you're
community
waiting,
calm down.
waiting to see
Yeah.
what. Well, I'm going to wait to see kind of how, because there's been people who are in the alpha right now that have been having issues. That's what got me concerned, is the fact that they did a closed alpha or beta. I can't remember. I don't want to say it's alpha. They did a closed alpha, and the issue was the connections. Even
Right.
though Ubisoft
Yep.
came out and kind of said it's not an issue because nobody's getting an advantage. And I'm like, you peer to peer, the way that system works, whoever's hosting has the advantage because they're not going to have any lag.
Call of Duty, the old ones used to do that as well, though.
Well, I know,
Modern Warfare
but I
2 and
would get
stuff.
mad when I would have
I just
massive
hate it when
lag.
the host would leave and you'd have to sit there for half an hour and wait for a
everybody
new
to
host to
reconnect.
get chosen. But
So
yeah,
I'm gonna wait. Versus, I mean, that's a prime example of me wanting to get the game now. Versus now, I'm like, I'm a little hesitant. I'm gonna wait. And I even
getting
talked
better at
myself out of
waiting.
the season pass.
I'm getting better
already.
at waiting. I pre-ordered 2 games this year, and last year I pre-ordered like
Are you gonna pre-order?
20.
Are you gonna pre-order Horizon?
probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. I will pick it up.
Yeah. 'Cause
Probably.
that's to me would be the one you would pre-order.
Probably close to release, but there's still things about that game that are
We don't
ooey,
know about, yeah.
iffy,
Right.
you
It's-
know.
Yeah.
But why? If on launch day you
can still
just
get it.
casually walk up to your console and
Yeah, exactly.
download.
Exactly.
Because you have to wait.
The only
Well, but even the night before you could
Yeah.
still
I
decide.
dude,
Yeah.
I'm not a get
Oh, I
up
know.
at midnight and play kind of
Oh,
guy.
I know that
but,
with Star Wars and Division.
But Final Fantasy I pre-ordered because literally I'd been waiting 10 years for that game, and I'm like, okay, this was before my
But you also are a big fan. Again, it's going to the franchise aspect
Exactly.
of things. So like they didn't do.
And I've
they've
played all
done
the
you,
demos
they've done
that
you
came
dirty,
out.
but they've
Right.
also they have a
I'm
legacy.
knocking pre-orders, but if Elder Scrolls
Yeah.
6,
right, then it's something you might be like.
And again,
There's
this-
certain
I'd be like,
companies.
okay.
and it's
Rockstar, you're good.
Yeah.
Right.
Bethesda,
Oh,
you're
Red
probably
Dead
good.
2.
except
you
for
know.
a few glitches
They
here
have
and
my
there.
money.
Yeah, I
already.
mean, Bethesda, that's just part of the territory.
but like
you know it's going to
but
be
that's
a
a
good
prime
job.
example of what makes you come back to a game. Even like say for whatever reason, Elder Scrolls 6 sucks. Say it's the
Right.
worst piece of garbage they've ever. I doubt it, but there's always that chance.
Mm-hmm.
Would you then go for Elder Scrolls 7 because of what has happened before? Because to me,
Well,
Bethesda would come in and say,
that would depend on
There's
how
no-
I feel about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there's no glitch bad enough to make me not want to play an Elder Scrolls.
"That's what I'm saying." I feel like
Which
if
goes to the question, I
if
suppose.
if Bethesda came out and said, "Look, again," to me, a lot of
History
it
of a
comes,
franchise.
yes, a lot of it comes back to the developers being open.
Yeah.
And I hate when developers hide information. That's the worst part is when you get into like patch, because I read patch notes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a nerd. I go through and line by line of what's in there, and I think people should to understand what they're getting. It's one of those things where if the developer's open and clear about it, I don't have as big of an issue as if they No Man's Sky it and say nothing.
Right.
So I mean, that's it. I don't know.
You look sad now.
Yeah, I just
Did
I want to
we
know
break
Man's
your
Sky to
spirit
be
with this
good.
conversation?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's like, I mean, Nintendo's been doing it recently.
Yeah.
Nintendo has nothing coming out. Well, I'm super excited for the Mario game, and I don't even know what the hell it is because it's one. That's an
I'm
example
putting
for franchises.
all my eggs in the VR basket for the future. I think that experience that I had with Resident Evil, which I really want there to be an equal experience available for someone like you that can't play Resident Evil.
I watched my.
The experience that I have
Well, I
with
guess
that.
you watched the other.
But no, but like the beginning
Yeah.
hour one.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
I just, oh my god.
So
can't
so
even do
when
that,
when we
man.
recorded
It was so
that
good.
when we recorded that with Jordan, I was watching it on the capture. We didn't have headphones. I didn't have
He wouldn't
headphones
even
in,
watch it on the TV.
But I watched it on here, so that way if Jordan reacted, I could then have a heads up of what is coming.
Yeah,
The only thing I saw real time was when the monster showed up.
right. Which
That
is
was
the
it.
worst time to be getting
Yes.
it real time.
So-
I just, man, that
It was so fucking good, though.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: I don't like being scared by any means, but I'm not like I like horror movies, but they don't scare me. That's why I just
Right.
like them because
They-
I like creatures and weirdness
Yeah.
and death. But that game, there's something about the immersion level of it. They did it so perfectly that I've never had.
You know
an
what they
experience
really
like
need
I
to make?
played it with the controller on the demo, and I thought, no, if I could not get out of this,
Yeah.
if I could just no.
And it gets way worse with the additions as well, like when they
It-
give you the basement
It
area and
almost
stuff.
feels like violating a little.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
no,
You know
and
what
that's
I
the
mean?
point.
Like,
You know, it's,
yeah,
I
that's
want them
kinda-
to make
Exactly.
a Little Big Planet or a Super Mario Maker in VR. How cool would it be to have a
something a bit more fun.
Well, Minecraft is in VR. Or
Yeah.
AR.
It should be.
VR. They're
It's
doing
gotta
AR.
be easy to do that, right?
Yeah, they're partnering with Oculus. They'll have something.
But yeah, I mean, Yeah, so that's the only thing that I'm kind of like, I am supporting Capcom in the making of that game because they're the first AAA developer to come out and say we are giving this game our 100% support in both flat and VR
Flat
mode.
is the way us peasants play it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
You
I have a headset,
Yeah.
so
But it's
the way you play it, you peasant.
but it's it's something that if you can give that much amount of detail and effort into the regular game, and then give that same amount of detail and effort into
And
a
you
VR
know it's not
version of
easy
it.
because you have to build a VR game differently than you play it.
Oh yeah, and that's going to be a long game. Like there's, even if it's like it's a Resident Evil game, they never go shorter than like 8 to 15 hours. So that's gonna, for VR, that's an incredible. That's like you have to take your headset off a couple times.
I would say Batman. I could play. Batman was about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
About an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep going, but yeah, at some point you do have to take the headset off and like come back to reality.
I mean, I played the demo for well over 2 hours, and I just loved it. Just loved every
and
second.
that gives
of it.
that's a good sign on the developer where it comes to dealing with the motion sickness and all this kind of stuff. They have to think about and not having to have that because
they're getting better.
Robinson, that I've yet to play, but I want to.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that have come back to Robinson and said that it plays a little better now. So I think I might take a look at it again because everyone says the graphics are incredible, and I was like,
oh, it looks. I watched one of my buddies, Bumbleworth, who's Mr.
Bumbleworth,
Bumble. He used to be Mr. Bumbles,
Okay.
but for legal reasons he had to change his name. So Bumbleworth played it, and I watched him play.
Was
through.
he
It
named
kinda
after
cool.
a cat? It sounds like a cat name.
No,
Mr. Bumbles.
I can't talk about why he had to change it, but he had to change it. I can tell you off camera. But
Right.
he's now Bumbleworth, which is cool because he has a little.
Now
Yeti
he sounds
dude.
like a butler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's fancy. I mean, he's really not. Well, he kind of is. But yeah, I watched him play it, and it looked really cool. I think to me, the scariest, there was one moment. I'm just gonna spoil it for you, but there's dinosaurs in that game, and you run into
Really?
you run into velociraptors, and they're down in a pit, and he goes to walk over to the pit and like look down. He goes, "Oh shit!" Like because they're hissing at you.
Right.
He's like, "Thank God you're down there and I'm up here."
Yeah.
Moments.
I don't know. There's definitely, that game was ruined for me with the motion sickness, but I also think that I didn't really have my legs when I first played that game, so I'd like to go back to it, and I will go back to it.
I kind of want. I'm doing the same thing. I kind of want to go back to rigs.
I'm going back to a lot of stuff. Rigs I never had a problem with. Like rigs, I felt ill for the first jump or two because like that you get that kind of like oh my god feeling when you jump, which I had with Windlands as well, which I still fucking love that game as well. So yeah.
So
But yeah.
that was our bonus level, kind of. It was a tangent in there.
And thanks
But-
to Grotto for the question.
Bye.
All right, so yeah, that's pretty much us this week. We've had a good and bad in our holiday.
I got a vacuum, so I can now clean my floor.
You're half an adult already. You got a vacuum.
And I also got, so one of the coolest things I got was I texted you that, and I told you as well. I got the PSVR charge and play display stand, which is the greatest thing ever. You know why? Because I can charge 2 Move controllers and my second controller in that
definitely
thing
need one
without
of those.
using a damn fucking port.
Yeah.
Which you have an extra USB port on the Pro.
I do, which is for the camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, the camera is its own
I
port,
specifically no, the camera is a USB port, but I
right?
specifically use the
camera's
back
a
one.
Weird one.
No, it's not the new one.
Oh.
This is
Well,
a new
mine's a weird
camera.
one.
The old camera's
Mine's
different.
the weird one. But yeah, it
yeah.
sucks because like I was literally playing flip the USBs around, and now I don't have
Yeah.
to. I
Well,
gotta find a place to put it.
I don't play it enough for that to be a gigantic problem, but at the same time,
Well, to me, it's
like,
the moves of like just not having them ready to go when you
right.
want to play.
But they last pretty long, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well,
not
like
bad.
this weekend when I went up to Grandma's, I'm like, I gotta make sure they're charged so that
Right.
when we play constantly.
It's weird you can't charge them off an outlet.
It's weird. The other weird part is I mean, granted, it's older technology. It doesn't use the same fucking plug as the DualShock.
Do you think they're going to ever update those?
They're going to.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
I
think-
want them. You know what I want them to do?
What's that?
There's a little tangent here, but I want them to have a multi-cam setup where you can put a camera in front of you and have a camera behind you, like
I want
the.
gloves. I want to be.
I don't think that's
Lawnmower
gonna.
Man.
I don't think that's gonna come anytime soon.
Did
Just
you get that reference? You're old enough to get that, right?
because
Alright.
the price.
Yeah.
The Oculus Touches are too.
But you know what though, and this always makes me grin whenever I think about the moves. I'm like, when Sony first released a move to contend with the Wii and the Kinect, you know, they sold bare minimal. They made a couple games that maybe had some things to do with it, and then you just know there was hundreds of thousands of these sat in a warehouse somewhere, and they're like, how can we get rid of these fucking Move controllers? And then now they are sold out everywhere.
Cool
you can't even try and get them. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to have a 2-camera setup where you could have one behind you, so you could have.
That would be
because
nice.
the problem I have right now when you play some games is if you turn around, it obviously can't see because you use the light tracking.
Yeah, and a lot of it is the cable, I think, because that cable can block half that light. Because you get lights in the back of your head.
I'm talking about hands.
Oh, right.
Like if your hands are in front of your body.
Oh, because if you move them, that makes sense.
Won't be able to see it.
Yeah,
so that's why the Vive. That's why the Vive is better for tracking because it has the 2 satellite points, and with that you can like set your room distance.
Right.
So if you had second camera instead of this, it's just a flat front on. You're like, well,
there's definitely more to tweak on the more expensive sets, but I think so far my experiences with PSVR have been.
My uncle said, give it 5 years, he's going to put it right in your brain.
He's
I was like, you're pretty
wrong.
close.
He's sadly
It's
probably
funny
not wrong. Yeah.
like, I mean, my family on that side is relatively. My mom's the baby, so they're relatively older, and they were all watching like Matt play the VR game, and like some got it, some didn't. But
you can't.
My good old Uncle Bob was like, he's like, this is crazy, but at the same time, like it's really cool, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's like. The part that breaks the illusion the most is like when you set up a VR and you're like, well, here's the breakout box, here's 6 cables, here's a cable there, and you're like, Jesus Christ, just put this all in one, which you know that's going to come at some point. It's all going to be in one box.
Dude, you remember, they have RAM chips now where the size of that would have been the size of a room at some point, and
I thought
technology.
that was the size of a hard drive.
If you've had like different eras, like the industrial era and the ice age and all that kind of shit, we are definitely in the midst of the technological
we went from the industrial era to the ice age.
I'm just naming eras. But
we talk about the Renaissance era.
We're definitely in the technical era, and I think that it's moving so fast at this point, especially with the birth of the internet and the ability to share information freely and quickly, that things are only going to progress faster. And we're at this sort of tipping point now where something like this, which was literally a pipe dream in the 80s, is now like coming to reality
30 years later.
Not perfect still, but not like put on a headset and be in another world perfect.
But it's still the foundation.
Close. Damn close.
It's the foundation built off of versus like Virtual Boy was not.
Yeah, and as they release these further consoles and stuff, like PS5 and all the rest of, I guess, Xbox 2. I don't know what they're going to call the next one.
They're going to call the next one 720.
It's really confusing.
You have Xbox 360, Xbox One, and then 720.
I don't know.
And then
actually, it would probably be one. It'll probably be Xbox 180 because they went Xbox 360.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. They're going
to give it a stupid name.
My thought with Microsoft, what they're going to do because of the naming convention is I think they're going to do the Xbox in year because I think Scorpio will eventually become the Xbox.
Right.
So I think it'll be Scorpio, and it'll be kind of like we do. Like your computer is a MacBook 2014. Like we know it by the year, not by what it is. And they won't release one every year, but they'll release one every 2 to 3 years of like a big upgrade. But do you think I don't have an issue with that as long as I have a not long enough lifespan with my consoles? If they still give me the same lifespan, it doesn't. I don't need to upgrade. This is a whole different conversation, but
I don't know. I don't like getting left behind in technology, especially when it becomes the one thing that I like. I mean, video games is my shit. That's the thing that I do when
Pro,
I don't do anything
even after
else.
The news press conference that was
I
horrible.
wasn't at all impressed with it at the news conference. I literally bought it to future-proof myself because technology moves so fast.
Until there's another thing like...
And I'm sure, there'll be a fucking PS4 Pro 2 before next year. But at the same time, I like to stay ahead of the game the best I can. But
versus me, I'm like, I don't... As long as it can... See, I'm the aspect, as long as it can run it, I don't need... Otherwise, I'd go PC. Like, I would easily go PC if that was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
But I don't. You're a console guy through and through. I'm agnostic when it comes to platform.
I don't know.
There's just so many issues with PC, and they're already
drivers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right, exactly. And they're already made for console and then ported to PC.
It's ease of use.
Not getting anything better.
It's ease of use to me.
Yeah, there's just for me again this whole different conversation, but the PC argument is just. There's so many more games that come out on PC that don't come to console that I would like. To me, I'm a big.
The opposite is true too.
I know, but I'm a big like. The one right now that I wish I could get is Planet Coaster.
And I bet you at some point that'll be on PS4.
No, I doubt it.
You don't think so?
They've come out and said they will never port it to console.
Do you have any idea how many companies have said I will never port this somewhere?
They're never putting it on Mac. They're never going to put it on console.
And then when they realize how much money they're left on the table,
they're never going to put it on Mac. They're never going. Well, the Tycoon games never.
I mean, maybe they won't, but at the same time, it's I don't know. To me,
I think more how the architecture is basically. Sorry, but it's all basically going to.
They're all PC boxes,
right?
I mean,
it's all the same hardware. Eventually,
I'd like to see them make it more modular in the sense that it would be. I mean, they did kind of with the PS4. They let you change out your own hard drive for a nice big hard drive.
Thank God.
You know,
and it's not the 360. You could change your hard drive. It's a fucking proprietary. Fucking thing.
So it'd be nice to like if they can make it a little bit more modular, like PCs are, but just so you could keep ahead of the game. But then I think Microsoft have to buy a new breakout.
I look at Microsoft probably going more modular than PlayStation just because
they're used to it.
Because they're Microsoft.
Yeah.
I mean that's what it comes down to. Like you can plug an external hard drive into an Xbox. You can't plug one into PS4 unless it's for backing up.
Right.
Stuff like that makes it seem more like a PC. But anyways,
that's fair.
That's a tangent. Let's get to the part where we talk about what's coming up. You got anything fun coming up? You do anything fun? Nope. Cool.
Apparently we're streaming Survival at some point.
Probably.
There you go.
I mean, we will be. I made the decision last night.
David goes back into a cupboard somewhere, eats macaroni and cheese, and waits for the next stream. That's where we keep him.
If you hear just on the stream,
my
that's
aunt
him.
and uncle keep me until the letter from Hogwarts arrives.
I mean, if Tom had the Division,
I don't know.
Yeah. Or Overwatch. You gotta get one of those. I mean, you got Titanfall.
I have Titanfall.
I know.
I have ESO. I got bored of the Division. Can't play it anymore. Never liked Overwatch to begin with.
But Overwatch.
I don't like it, Keegan. I don't know. You can't force me to like Resident Evil 7. You're never going to play it. You're never going to play it for that reason.
But
I just don't like it.
But Overwatch. It's Game of the Year. Resident Evil 7's not going to be Game of the Year.
It'd be fucking close next year. I tell you. I bet you.
We'll see.
That game is going to be phenomenal.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
See.
I'll make you play it.
No, you won't. I refuse.
If you're making me play Overwatch, you're strapping on a headset and going through that whole game in VR. That's where we're at. Stalemate.
Yeah. But next year, the next podcast will be in the new year. We will officially be 2017.
This one will be in the new year, right?
Yes, this one will be in the new year.
Yeah.
I'm a week late. Sorry.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Because yesterday
It is literally New Year's Day today.
Well,
No, second.
Yeah, it's the
January.
second. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
New Year's Day yesterday.
yeah.
Happy Hangover Day yesterday. Hope your hangover's gone away today.
I do plan to now that I've got a couple Xbox games. I have a few people that want to play Halo 5 Guardians with me on co-op. So I might be streaming that a little bit with some people.
That'll be sweet. I've never seen it.
The good old Tuba Monkey. Do you remember him? Good old
do.
Seth. I
I
love
like
him. Tubin, and then Scott. The Shadazzle Show, which I love that dude to death. He's actually, fun fact, he's the only person we've done official collaboration with on our channel in a video.
Cool.
You weren't a part of it, but we did Star Wars. And then Wreck-It Beckett. He's another British man.
Cool.
Wants to play.
There are
Gears
many
War.
of us.
Yeah.
We have a whole island.
There's a whole country of you.
Yeah.
The good old, jolly old England.
Yeah. God, today, I'm getting more and more nervous about the Queen as this year's gone on. She's sick right now. She did the Christmas message, but she didn't go to the Christmas celebrations. This is a woman that at 86 went to a Christmas celebration in a monsoon. So I'm getting. I mean,
at some
sad
point,
about
you're gonna have somebody new.
Yeah, I know.
Who's taking who? Like, so did
it
I
would
don't know.
be
British.
either Charles or William.
Okay,
We're not
I don't know
sure.
British
Charles
politics, how it
might be
works.
too old
Yeah,
to take the mantle.
Do they do anything to sit on money? Like, do they have any sort of power at this point? I don't know British politics at all.
They're not really politicians. They're kind of a whole separate entity.
I mean, they were politicians at one point.
The monarchy?
Monarchy
No,
was.
never.
At one point, it was before Parliament happened.
Well, I mean, yeah, before
This is years
actual
ago.
politicians existed.
Yeah, this is years
I
ago.
guess they were politicians.
But recently,
before politics were a thing, yes, kings and queens ruled the world, Keegan. But
under trusty steeds.
but yeah, exactly. Clip clop. What's that? Monty
Hi
Python
ho, silver
with the
away!
coconuts.
It's going downhill real fast.
But they basically they don't really have much in the way of kind of things they have to do, but they all tend to have little projects that they do to help England.
Mm-hmm.
So they Prince Charles is
worth
big
a
in the
lot of money.
arts, so he has
Do they own I'm not going to keep asking stupid questions here, but I'm going to. What do they own?
You make me do it all the time.
Do they own anything? Like they got to be. They have a lot of money.
Buckingham
Like,
fucking Palace, and amongst
but
other things.
But I just thinking land wise, they were the monarchs. Like, how much power an authority.
They
at this
have
point.
ultimate decision. So the government can make decisions, but if the Queen says "fuck no, get out of here," they have to listen to the Queen.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
She is veto power, and she is a good person and a good woman.
It's kind of like the president, but
way cooler.
But has a little bit more power than the president. Because
it's an over president.
Yeah,
so it's like Dick Cheney essentially. But no, it's an over president. It's kind of they all have their little Diana used to do a lot of charity work. Prince Charles does a lot of charity work. The kids do a lot of charity work. Harry and Will were both in the army. Harry's a helicopter pilot, like combat medic. So they all they earn their keep. I think they do. But the problem is there's this gigantic dislike for them from the English public because taxpayer money goes towards funding a lot of their shit. So if the Buckingham Palace needs repairs, then it's taxpayer money paying it. Me personally, I don't care. I think they're an institution. I like that they exist. They definitely have had their ups and downs, but it's an exciting thing. It's almost like Final Fantasy. Like when you play Final Fantasy and it's it's the big day of the wedding and everyone gets all happy and stuff. That shit actually happens in England, where there's if Will and Kate got married, that royal wedding, everyone lost their fucking minds over here because it was this big thing.
I'd say when they had the baby.
The baby was in his Christmas outfit this year. So it's kind of, there's these little things that happen that are kind of adorable because it's, monarchy has its own little pluses. And they're kind of the most famous monarchy as well because they ruled 80% of the world.
Welcome to Level 2 Podcast, where we learn about video games and British politics.
British Parliament is a whole different animal. Have you ever seen British Parliament before?
No.
They're allowed to...
I'm assuming it's similar to Canadian because the Canadian government's kind of an extension of the British government, obviously, but they still look at the Queen as a figurehead.
In terms of how they act, if they call you a nice name, they can then call you whatever the fuck they want. It's so weird. So they'll go, the right honourable Keegan to my left is a bastard and a liar. And then as long as they start nice, they can say whatever the fuck they want afterwards. It's so weird.
They're British.
Yeah. And they just argue with each other, and they'll take the piss out of each other. They have jokes, they rip each other
versus US politics that just kind of just sit on their butts.
Yeah, they don't do anything. They're psychopaths. But British politics, it's more just this guy's a cunt, and it's and they say it. Let's go fucking great.
Let's go get some tea and crumpets now.
It's not quite as crazy as Turkish parliaments and stuff where they have actual full-on fights, but it definitely gets a bit wild. If you look up angry British Parliament politics or whatever, you'll get some very interesting.
It sounds like a really bad YouTube channel.
I'm surprised our Congress hasn't gotten to that point where they're throwing blows.
I mean, they get a little snarky here and there, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
It's a whole they'll yell and scream at each other.
It's the British way, though.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Yeah,
so
you got to get shit done somehow.
But anyways,
yeah, England. Lie down and think of it. You ever heard that? Lie back and think of England.
No.
It's a phrase for girls that don't really want to do stuff but have to do stuff for whatever reason. Not like rape. Let me just say that right there. It's just thinking, I'll be all right, love, just lie back and think of England, it'll be great. If you don't want to do something, it's a weird synonym. Anyway, moving on.
So,
that was a very bizarre tangent.
I don't think those origins are too far from that.
Probably not.
Yeah. So New Year,
new
things, new games.
2017. We're finally the fuck out of 2016.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher. We didn't mention her yet, but
that was today for us recording. For you guys, it'll be a week ago. But yeah, Carrie Fisher, and just a day after George Michael, or 2 days after.
Well, Carrie Fisher had a heart attack.
She had one before, and then her mom posted and said she was doing all right, and everyone was like, "Ooh!" And then the Reaper came for George Michael instead, and everyone's posting memes about this guy chasing Carrie Fisher, and then getting George Michael instead. And then fucking today we wake up to this bullshit. So
I wonder if they're gonna do.
Done.
Star Wars land because of it, because obviously
they've already finished recording episode 8.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there's gonna be some sort of tribute or something.
Yeah, totally.
I wonder what they're gonna do because she obviously is a big part of that that
Yeah, there
series
has
and
to be
that
something that
And
gets
at
done
least she wasn't a big
for-
part of 9.
9. That's yeah.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
I mean, they'll write around it. I'm sure.
They'll just find something,
yeah.
I mean, they fucking had completely CGI, like actual characters in like CGI human characters in Rogue One. They were like because these characters were now too old to appear there.
Carrie
Yeah.
Fisher being one of
Which was
them.
Yeah.
which was super creepy and weird. But at the same time, it's not out of the realms of possibility to do something like that. Although I would hate to see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
So-
be terrible.
But episode 8's done, so
we
at least she's in there.
start on a dismal note. We end on a dismal note. Welcome to the Level 2 podcast. If you want to see us on YouTube, level2gamers.com. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/level2gamersstl. Twitter @level2gamersstl. Facebook, Twitter, Facebook. Level 2 Gamers.
Did something break? Your brain just snapped.
Well, no,
halfway
I
through the
sent you new. By the way, this will probably be the first podcast with the new lower third, so it's gonna be a little fancy. To go.
Oh yeah, these are way fancier.
Yeah, than what we had before. So like, I was thinking in my brain, I had like the vision of the lower third in my brain when I was saying it, and it said Twitter because that's the last one I worked on.
Keegan has
Facebook.
been creative today.
Yeah, it's real weird.
Yeah, he just woke up and had a ton of ideas.
Yeah, and I was like, hey Tom, I'm doing shit.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
So I'm just okay.
Yeah.
Do
But
shit.
no, I think they're gonna look a little bit nicer. I've got a couple other ideas that they're floating around up with this noggin that may come out at some point. So
We've got plenty of potential left.
yeah.
I think our channel is at a point now where we're close to our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, 2 years.
February.
Yeah, it's not been 3 years.
I forget. It's been so long that you've been in my basement. I just put him
Chained
in.
me up last time.
I just put him in a cupboard when you guys aren't watching, but he's in there eating mac and cheese with Dave. But
streaming The Division.
yeah, but it's we're closing in on
February
2
5th
years.
will be
We
officially
still
2
have
years.
a good subscriber count. It's growing every day. We're starting to get more kind of every other day there's a subscriber or two situation going, which is nice.
Honestly, the best thing, if you guys
think our
watch
algorithms
and or listen,
fixed
the best
it.
thing you do is share our stuff. I mean, that's we say it all the time, but the best way to support any YouTuber, anybody you enjoy, whether it's us or somebody else, is sharing their content.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to actively do that a little bit more on our Twitter feed, because a lot of my friends do YouTube and they do some cool shit.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, Josh Way J Statics on YouTube is doing some really cool Resident Evil reviews right now, and he put the first 3 up, I believe, 2 or 3. I can't remember how many he did, and they were really well done. I don't even care about Resident Evil, but I watched them because they were that good,
Cool.
type thing. So, shout out to him. Go check him out. But like, honestly, if you guys, the best way to support us is by sharing our content with your friends, family, grandmothers, daughters, sisters.
Also,
Step
subscribe
sisters.
to Mac and Dave.
Macaroni and Dave.
Macaroni and Dave.
YouTube.com. It's probably youtube.com/macaroni and Dave. If not, just
Just search Macaroni and Dave.
I don't
There
know if it'll
can't
come
be
up, though.
too many.
Well, I don't know
that'll
if
come
I don't know if it'll show up just because there's nothing on the channel yet.
Hold back on searching Macaroni and Dave in case that's a weird sex fetish.
Let's try this here.
It could
Hold
be.
on.
No, you can't mess with
I'm
the
not
computer
gonna
while we're
open the
recording.
video. I'm not gonna open the video.
You're not allowed. This happened
you'll
last
see.
time.
You'll see which one it is. Actually, you know what we should do? We'll put it on our channel. We'll make him a featured channel on our side of our channel,
Yes.
and they can find it that way.
Yes.
By the way,
Look
if you
for the
search
cheese.
macaroni and cheese and macaroni and a boogie, it's the second.
Macaroni and a boogie?
It's the second one. I spelled macaroni right? Yeah.
Did you spell margarina or something?
No. Well, it's like was autocorrect. Oh, Cheetos. Filters. There's 14,000.
You know people are still listening.
I know. Hold on. We got this.
Oh, Lord.
Macaroni and cheese shows up. Yeah, he doesn't show up.
He fucking
Game
will.
Grumps show up.
Well, this is how we make him show up, by you subscribing to Macaroni and Dave.
Go to
There's no videos, just so you know. There's nothing there. But the idea is to get as many subscribers without any videos whatsoever. And then maybe when we hit like 100 subscribers for that channel, we'll upload a video.
it'll just be him, just you eating bowl of
Just
macaroni.
eating macaroni.
Goal.
That's
For
it.
100, he's going to just eat a bowl of macaroni.
Yeah, the
We'll live stream it.
entire bowl. I'm gonna make it like a big one too, like a pot. Of
Well, you have like a macaroni. Are you allergic to cheese or anything?
Like macaroni.
Oh. Breaking the illusion.
I'll make it. I'll put some sauce in there or something. It'll be alright.
His secret sauce.
It'll be alright.
But anyways,
Secret sauce. That's so gross.
yes. But anyways, we are the Level 2 Gamers.
Yes.
We do videos Monday through Friday
Yep.
and stream on Sundays.
With this guy.
With this guy, we did miss the last 2 Sundays for streaming because of holidays.
Holidays. Yeah.
But we will be back at it the day before this.
As of yesterday.
Yeah, the day
there
before
should be
this.
something that we played.
I'm going to guess Titanfall 2.
Probably.
That's what I'm going to guess.
I like that game.
That's
though.
my guess.
I'm not mad about it.
But yeah, that's it. Do you have any plugs for anything? You tend to just hang out with us. You don't have any plugs.
Well, I mean, I guess if you guys really do want to see some Skyrim streams,
let
me know. And I work weird hours, so they would be weird times, but at least...
Which means there's going to be weird conversation.
Unless you're overseas, and it might be normal times.
Right.
That's true.
If you're Asian and you want to see...
We have a really massive following in the Netherlands, thanks to some weird boost posting stuff I was doing with Fiverr, trying to get our channel trailer out there a little bit, and then we had like 10,000 hits from the Netherlands. I'm like, this is great, but they don't know what the fuck we're saying. So
little fun fact, I actually put up subtitles the other day on one of our videos.
You should put it on the channel trailer in Netherlands.
Well, no, for our I didn't do it. It just YouTube allowed to generate them.
Oh, really?
So for City Skylines, it would have gone up Friday, maybe.
Okay.
I don't think. Yeah, it's going up this the week coming up, so they'll see it by now. It'll be up the last video that would have gone up on our channel besides the live stream. And I said something. It's like, and fucked your mom, and I was like, that's not what I said. Like, it's the autocorrect is great because I talk so quick.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not what I said. So if you want to have fun, turn on subtitles on our videos. You'll see some weird shit.
I debated at one point when we started doing like manual subtitles for every video. Distinctly, very quickly knocked that idea because the amount of fucking videos that we do. Yeah. I'm like, there's no way I have the time to do this.
It does help though for people who...
It'd be great if I had the time.
Hear.
Maybe when we're big enough, we'll employ someone to do
somebody.
it.
Google, you can do it for Google for $30 a video. Hey, you work great hours, right?
Those weird hours you were talking about.
What languages do you speak? Are you fluent in Netherlands? What do they speak in Netherlands? Dutch? Right?
I believe so.
That's what it is.
I have never
but
been.
Before we keep crashing and burning as we tend to do at the end of these episodes.
I mean, it's fun. You know,
it is. I like doing. We say it every week, but podcasts are my favorite
because they're super relaxed.
If you guys want, the only way we can hear if you are listening to us on iTunes and or Google Play and or any other platform that you listen to stuff on, right? Stuff on.
If you're listening, Stefan,
rate us, subscribe to us. Like that's the best thing you can do on there. Again, we can't really see iTunes analytics. We can't see Google Play analytics. They don't allow it. But if you leave a review, we can see those. We have a couple of reviews already.
Also, if you live in St. Louis, we do tend to occasionally do more St. Louis-y focused things, and I know that at least some of our viewers are from at least John is from St. Louis.
Hi, John.
So what's up again, John? So if you live in St. Louis, we are your local YouTube idiots to watch. So
I was gonna say we're not the only local YouTubers, but when you had idiots in there, you nailed it. We're golden.
So that's fun if you know people that want to watch idiots from St. Louis do this type of thing.
Idiots that live in St. Louis, not from St. Louis.
Yeah. And people still don't really fully understand our channel. There was a guy posted the other day who was like, I thought this was a game that it was a movie.
Oh, the Ninja Kuma?
I thought this was a game I missed out on.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's a movie.
I like him. He's a good dude.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks Dave for joining us.
Check him out, Macaroni and Dave. If you haven't
Macaroni and Dave.
There are no videos.
There are no videos, but there's a really cool picture of macaroni.
You'll know, that's how you'll know.
Yeah, that's how you know you're there.
That's how you know. You can't change that ever.
More fun than
I don't know what the banner art is, but we should get Wheezy to do some banner art.
Oh, there's definitely some. We can actually have Wheezy's kid make a macaroni picture.
I think we should first get Wheezy to finish our intro.
Yeah,
let's start there.
Work on that. Yeah,
and then we'll go from there. But anyways, let's finally end this. Again, thank you guys for watching, and as always,
welcome to the second level. Bye.
Subscribe to Macaroni and Dave.
It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.